Hello and welcome to Hub City Now. I'm your host, Tyrone Tony Reed Jr. We have another great show for you today. We have wonderful guests all the way from Memphis, Tennessee. We have Wiley Richards and Terrell Richards of W&T Contracting Corporation, which was founded in 1997 by Wiley Richards. And we're going to talk to Wiley and Terrell about the family legacy, about business, their contract with Ford, BlueOval City, and any tips or inspiration for Black entrepreneurs during this National Black Business Month. So we're happy to have them here today with us. And without any further ado, we introduce you to Wiley and Terrell Richards. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
Tell us about your journey to where you are right now. Tell us about you say your father, before we talk off camera, but you talked about your father starting this the company. Tell us about that.
Yes, W&T Contracting Corporation was formed back in 1997, but actually, Willie Richards, our father, had been in business before. He started back in around 1980, 82, doing some residential septic tanks. He started back in Benton County, Mississippi, which is really rural. And so, but individuals built houses. You didn't have municipal sewer systems, so they had to have pretty much septic tanks for each house. So he started doing that. He just had the entrepreneurial spirit. He moved from Chicago back in, I guess, it was 1975, which is where he was from. Moved from Chicago back to Mississippi, actually, which he was from Mississippi, and he moved. Everybody generally migrated from the south, to Chicago. So they moved back in 1975 because they thought they could provide a better, safer environment for us to raise us. And when he moved back, he had the entrepreneurial spirit. He wanted to work for himself, and he got the niche about starting to install wastewater septic tanks at homes, and he started doing that. He had the entrepreneurial spirit. He had the work ethic. He was a hard worker, and he started doing that. And he's eventually moved into some trucking, and then he took on another partner, and they started a company called the Richards and Estes Contractors. They started doing smaller commercial projects. That relationship didn't last very long, and then the company kind of folded. And then back in 1997, he wanted to go back into business, and that's when W&T Contracting Corporation was formed back in 1997.
Okay. So tell us, you all are both co-presidents of W&T Contracting Corporation now. Before we get to how you all got involved, what kind of challenge did your father ever tell you about? Any challenges that he had starting up in business?
Well, yes. Yeah, I would say this, and Wiley can add more. But my father is the type of person. He was never a big complainer. He never really used excuses. I'd never heard a lot of excuses from him. He believed in doing what you say you're going to do.
Right.
That was just his motto, and he instilled that into us. So. Yeah, that there was many challenges because we would, living in Mississippi and being an African American, there were many challenges. But he didn't complain. He took one day at a time. He worked. He did whatever he had to do to make things happen, and he was just an inspiration.
Yeah, I would add, early on, our father never, as Terrell mentioned, he wasn't a big complainer, but. We saw the drive and the effort and the ethics that he provided. He oftentimes was in a space that he was the only minority in that particular space. But I will say, I never felt as though he was intimidated. He wasn't a highly educated person, but he never was intimidated. He always felt as though he could, he was in the right place at the right time, and he always tried to, to show himself to be an ethical, sound person that could do the job and the task given. He never complained. He just worked every day. Again, lacked some, education, but he certainly had a lot of work ethic and, can-do attitude.
Right. That's awesome. That is awesome. What advice did he give you all? Did you all work with him early on when he first started?
Actually, we did. As small children at 8 years old, yeah, we would go out to job sites with him.
Okay, before you get finished, did you all complain?
We actually, you know what? I say we really didn't
I don't
complain. We
recall
were the
about
type of
complaining.
children, we accepted what was offered. We were not big complainers either. We wanted, he showed us, gave us an opportunity to make some extra money, and we took advantage of that. We just believed in you work for your money, and and that was the goal. So, no, we didn't really complain. We believed that, hey, work, hard work and work ethic was just part of who we were.
Yeah, I will add, as Terrell stated, my father started installing individual wastewater septic tanks for, residential homes. At that time, there wasn't a public sewer system. But I remember vividly, assisting, working all day long, hot sun. It just was something was just ingrained in us. We wanted to participate. We earned a little bit of money, and that was satisfactory to us.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So was it more of a Daddy taught us to be this way, or was it we want to be with Dad? We want to hang out with Dad.
It was a little bit of both.
Okay.
Yeah, we wanted to be with Dad, and we were, again, pretty obedient children. We just believed that you were told to do something, you did it, and we just didn't challenge it very much.
Yeah.
And we, again, we took on work tasks, and we enjoyed them.
Right.
It was challenging, but we enjoyed the challenge.
I mean, we saw our father and mom too both work, and that's what we remember. Even in Chicago, and as he again obtained that entrepreneurial spirit, we moved here, the Mississippi area. We thought that was the right thing to do, and we could learn a lot by following those footsteps. So we just didn't see a challenge there. We just wanted to participate.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, take me through who started with Dad first in business.
Actually, Terrell did.
Okay.
Yeah, I started back in 1995.
Okay.
We started back doing some municipal work. In 1997, that's when W&T Contracting Corporation was formed.
Okay.
And we started doing, again, smaller municipal projects. Wiley started with us, I think it was back in 1999. And again, being a small, African-American contractor, we took on some smaller projects, and they were challenging, but being in the civil space that we're in, it requires a lot of heavy equipment. Those purchases are very expensive, so we try to keep our overhead low and self-perform most of our work, and we just thought that was the way to get a foothold and to grow our business. So it was challenging, but we took that challenge. And
I will also say, I think we also thought it was important to really learn the work at a very finite level, because if the opportunity to grow or to expand, we felt as though we would be better stewards of that growth if we understood the business at a very finite detail.
Right.
So I think we threw ourselves into it, because we thought that was the right thing to do.
Right. So, tell us. You're both co-presidents, but you all have different functions. Tell us what you specifically specialize at in the company.
Well, Terrell, I specialize more into the heavy civil construction. Again, we do a lot of underground utilities, water, sewer, storm drainage, some excavations, and that's pretty much what I focus in. While they focus in on the field
on
service.
the field services. We're going to eventually expand to our engineering, project management space. So we're wanting to expand our offerings. But we both, oversee all projects.
Okay.
Also on a very high level, obviously, not going day to day to the jobs. But we make sure, we all work together on the finances and making sure, payroll and any contractual considerations. It's a group effort. We both agree that would be something we would pursue or take on. So, yeah. That's kind of
Actually, the good thing about us, we work together well. So, we may have some issues, but we're able to talk those issues out and figure out, the best plan of action. So we work well together. I wouldn't want to have a different partner.
That's awesome. That's awesome
it would
because
be too challenging.
people always talk about Don't work with family.
Yeah.
Whatever you do,
Yeah.
don't work with family. How has it been working with your brother? I know you're not going to say nothing bad, but I know challenges come up, some disagreements come up, but how do you separate we're business owners and we're brothers?
Well, that's not easy. It pretty much go together. But again, we're able to talk things out and figure out the best plan of action. We try to be honest with each other. We try to tell each other the truth. He has my back. I have his back. He knows that I'm not going to mislead him or tell him anything wrong. So we have that trust.
Right.
That trust is very critical in business. That's where most business struggle with finding people that you can trust. So we have that trust. We trust each other, and he knows that I won't let him down, and vice versa.
That's awesome. So let's the $50 million contract with Ford BlueOval City. Oh my goodness! Take us through that process. How did you all get to that point?
Well, we originally had heard about the mega site in West Tennessee that was designated as a mega site, and we knew that area was designated for something large to come or be built, a manufacturing company to be built in West Tennessee. So we also had heard about initially the state was providing a sewer line to the new mega site. So we originally were one of the three companies were approved to submit a bid on that particular project. So we bidded that project with a JV partner. We came in second on that project, but we knew that the Ford plant was going to be built eventually, and we wanted to be a part of that. So time passed on after that after not winning that mega site project. Then we heard of the Ford plant was going to be built. And MMBC had an outreach, which pretty much informed all of the companies in the West Tennessee area about the upcoming work. They brought in Ford's prime contractor, which is Walbridge.
Okay.
They came in, brought in their whole team, and some of the major contractors that had worked with them in the past, and kind of talked about opportunities, about how we would love for folk to partner with them to build this particular project. So that was when it got first kicked off. I guess that was back in 2000 and
That's about October and I think August of 2022.
yeah.
Okay.
And then
Right.
beyond that, what happened was we heard about the contractor actually reached out to us, wanting to know if we have interest in submitting pricing on the utility side of the project. Of course, we love to hear that. We jumped right on it, and we knew it would be a massive, massive project, which it was. So we had a JV relationship with another contractor that we had been working with for the past 7-8 years.
Okay.
Really good, strong relationships. So we said, hey, this is a massive project. Would you have any interest to work with us? He said he was all in. So we began to draft, prices and submitting proposals to Walbridge. And we were pretty much in the driver's seat because they didn't seem to have a lot of pricing from other contractors for whatever the reason was.
Well, some of it was due to the size of the project. It was a massive project, and this project was a union labor project.
Yeah.
A lot of merit-based companies don't
not
want
interested,
to work on union projects.
Oh, okay.
That's one of the things that did distinguish this project from a lot of the local projects in years past. They required union labor, so you would have to enter into a union agreement in order, and then have basically your staff would be all union employees.
Right.
That did disincentivize for some merit-based organizations who just wasn't interested. So we were fortunate; we didn't have a problem with it. We had previously worked on other jobs, that required union labor, so we were used to it. No problem for us. We worked up our pricing. We got into negotiations with Walbridge, and ultimately we're successful. And our thoughts were, let's take on this responsibility. Let's hit the time frames. Let's make sure we're ready, prepared our teams, and we hit the ground running.
Yeah, And also, too, we had to make a lot of capital investments. We had to buy a lot more equipment in order to complete this work at the Fort project. So we secured our financing. We brought additional new equipment, and we hired a bunch of staff, and we hit the ground running, as Wiley stated.
That's awesome. That's awesome. What did this contract mean to you all as a business for your company's future, and how did it change your operation?
This contract has been a game changer. Again, it's the largest contract that we've ever participated on. We've been able to hire a lot more additional staff. We've been able to purchase a lot more additional equipment, which has broadened our capabilities. The sky's the limit for us today. We just want to piggyback off of this opportunity and continue to grow our business. That's why I stated we want to get into more of the project management side, engineering side. So we want to expand our business. We want to build an office in the city of Memphis. So that's another goal. We think we'll be able to achieve that because of some of the success we have had.
I mean, obviously, we think that the BlueOval project has been a pillar for growth, the future opportunities, because we now have the skill set, the reliable crews that we can look at any big project and feel comfortable and take on that task. So we think we're primed to move forward and move on and be able to take on larger projects as projects come out to bid. And we're ready to take them on. We're just prepared now, better prepared.
How do you maintain strong leadership and teamwork within your company, especially during a large-scale project like that?
Well, what we try to do is we try to delegate responsibility. We've been able to hire some great staff, and we've been able to watch them grow and do great things for us. But we're always there to help nurture them if they need any assistance, but we allow them to do their jobs. And we've been blessed. We have hired some good members of management that do a great job for us. So that's, having work and being able to pay people, sometimes you get lucky, and we've been able to hire some great staff.
Yeah, I think our philosophy is you hire good people, you put them in good positions, and you let them be successful, and you make sure you get out of the way so you don't hurt the success. But you're there if they need some assistance, some guidance. Certainly, you always want to be there to participate in those situations. But
all right. Advice for aspiring Black entrepreneurs. What advice would you give to? I said young in my question, but for any African Americans who aspire to enter the construction industry in general.
Well, I would say this about the construction industry. It depends on what you do in construction. Again, we're more in the civil space, which require a lot of heavy equipment. There are a lot of other trades that wouldn't require as much as heavy, equipment and much overhead. So, but what I would say, believe in what you do. Educate yourself. Learn everything you can about what you want to do. Throw yourself into it. Find you a mentor. Don't be afraid to ask questions. And want it. You got to want this. This is not for everybody. You got to have a desire for what you want, and if you want to do this, you can do it. But you got to want this each and every day. That's right. And you got to live it, and you got to believe in it.
I would add, work on your branding, your marketing. Make sure that you have a website. Make sure the website represents your efforts, your work, your vision, your values. Because that's important. I can tell you right now, I've heard more people offer to us that, hey, we check your website out, and they love to see what you think of yourself and how you put yourself out to them. So I think branding is critical. I think you need to make sure you have a relationship with a banker. You need to have a relationship with an attorney. A lot of times contracts require review, require advice, and sometimes require modifications. So understand that the business can become legal. Understand, so you would definitely want to have an attorney involved in your business. That's definite.
And another thing I'd like to add too, whatever you decide to do in construction, try to perfect it. Trying to do 10,000 things and you do them all bad because you got yourself so spread it out, it's difficult. Figure out what you want to do in construction and set your attention to that and perfect it. So if you can perfect what you do, you'll be wanted and desired, and you have even more opportunities. So don't try to do everything. That's very difficult. Try to figure out what you want to do, what you like to do, and focus on that task.
All right.
And perfect it.
You all just answered my other question that I had, which was what are three of the most important lessons you've learned as entrepreneurs? What resources or networks have been most valuable to your success as Black entrepreneurs?
I would say, we were fortunate enough to be members of local Mid-South Minority Business Continuum.
Okay.
MMBC is what it's oftentimes referred to. And it's an organization that's pretty much geared to enhancing and involving minorities in various spaces of business to provide technical training, resources, opportunities. And what I mean by opportunities, they themselves, they would bring stakeholders to meetings to engage with potential buyers or contractors who may want to participate or sell something. So they were very instrumental in shaping our thoughts about business and what the possibilities could be in Memphis, because they were been working really, really hard to ensure minorities get a slice of the pie, if you will.
Right.
And the economic boom in Memphis, we've seen talk about it 10, 15 years ago, but we're now beginning to see a renaissance where Memphis is, economically it's grown in life, certainly downtown. And so they have been very instrumental in ensuring, contractors, partners, suppliers participate in that growth.
Yeah, they are all oftentimes MMBC has different outreaches, different settings to where they bring in the larger general contractors and talk to the members to discuss upcoming projects and upcoming opportunities. So, and then also if you attend those meetings, you get a chance to network with like-minded companies too. You can also share advice and some do's and don'ts. So, networking is very important, in business. You're not going to do this stuff by yourself. You've got to reach out to others, like-minded folk, to gain some new insight.
Let me add one more thing. I will say too, business is very challenging. You must have confidence in yourself, in your abilities, and your team, and understand that you oftentimes will be seeking out opportunities. No would be a very common theme. Do not give up when you're constantly saying no, because there's always other opportunities.
Right.
Find out what you did wrong, what you can improve upon.
Yeah.
Never give up. You just can't worry about being told no, because there will always be a yes somewhere.
You must believe in what you're doing. You got to believe in your operations. You got to have confidence, as Wiley stated, because you got to get used to no. You're going to hear that quite often, but you can make that no. You can turn it into a yes if you stay after it. So get used to that, because no is not always the end. It can be the beginning. So take that no as a challenge and try to work around that no and turn it into a yes.
That's right. So it is National Black Business Month. What are some ways Black entrepreneurs can support each other and build a stronger economic community?
Well, one thing I would say, communicate with each other. Again, as I stated, networking with each other. Share information. A lot of times we, as Black businesses, we think that the pie is really, really small. We got to think outside the box and realize the pie is whole. It's a big pie. We can share this pie. If I lift your boat, it doesn't take my boat down.
Right.
So we got to be willing to share information, be willing to help each other. If we all rise together, we all do well. It's not about what you can do. It's about who can you help to build up and bring others along with you. So we can't hold information. We got to be willing to share and network, and whatever you can do to help others, that's what we should be trying to do.
Yeah, well, Ed, Trey and I, we try to work with other minority contractors. We all our professional services we use. A lot of times we are utilizing minority persons because we want to make sure they have those opportunities they wouldn't otherwise have. We're very, very much interested, in working on a large JV contract in the state of Memphis or Jackson, for that matter, with all minority team,
Right.
from the engineers to the contractors. We think it's important that we show ourselves to be, really good at what we do. We believe in each other. We can pull together. We can do and make, ourselves look good for the community and uplift others as they can see our, our travels and so forth.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You must have saw my questions, 'cause
I
that
did
was
not.
another question that I was about to say. Okay, so we got enough time for two more questions.
Okay.
What are your goals for the future of your company, and how do you plan to achieve them?
Well, as Wiley stated, we pretty much are working in Mississippi and Tennessee. We would like to go national and begin to work in other states. That's one goal. We also like to expand our operations, as Wiley stated. We want to migrate into the engineering space, civil engineering space, and to project management. We want to kind of be full circle civil from an engineering standpoint as well as a project management standpoint, possibly owner's rep, expand our civil heavy division as well. So we want to grow our business. That's the name of the game. We also, too, on another level, we have also entered into some property buying as well. So we kind of
Okay.
get into the development space as well.
That's
So
awesome.
We're trying to do that as well, too.
That's awesome. So here's our last question for the main part. If you could change one thing about the business landscape for Black entrepreneurs, what would it be?
I would say opportunity, funding opportunities. I wish they were easier. I will say, we started off as kind of challenging. The relationship with the bank was not the greatest because you didn't have a lot to provide to the bank in terms of reviewing his assets. But I would say if there was a way to make funding easier for minority businesses, to give them opportunity to funds, that would be what I would ask.
Yeah. I would say the good news is, in my mind, the climate or the business climate for minorities is better than it's ever been. I do believe there's a lot of opportunities out here now. And I do think that there are a lot of banks that's willing to work with minorities. So it's not a bad climate right now. I think there's a lot of opportunities. We just got to make sure we are, taking care of our credit. Credit is important. Paying our bills on time is very important. It's going to be very difficult to go in business if you're not, serious about paying your bills. So
Right.
that's critical. Make sure that's covered. But I do think the climate is better for minorities in business. I do believe that today. But yeah, there's still some ropes you got to jump over in order to gain some financing. But if you're willing to do those things, and again, seek your mentor, find out how do they do what they do, and how were they able to borrow money and so forth. Seek advice.
Right.
I would like to add one more thing
Okay.
as relates to financing. One of the things we did as we grew and opportunities, came to us, we were very, conservative with our, purchases, personal purchases. One of the horror stories I hear a lot of time from bankers is that they know of persons who had some success and they went out and thought
Burned
they had
through it, yeah.
basically flaunt their success, and then things got bad and they were pretty much toast out of business. So be very, very conservative when you growing, you're making money. That's great. Take care of your money. Spend slowly.
Yeah.
Be very conservative.
Yeah.
Because you never really know. Have some time between success. You don't have to spend everything that you make to show anyone. Just show yourself to be good at what you do.
Right.
Not necessarily show what you have.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And put your money back into your business. Make
Yeah.
sure you're growing your business and you're in the business not being cheated.
Right.
You got to have some success at home, but you want to make sure you put your money back into your business where your business can grow and work for you.
All right. All right, we got 30 seconds. Please tell the listeners and the viewers how they can get in contact with you all if they want to know more information about your company.
W&T Contracting Corporation, we have a website. Just go to our website. It's www.wtcontractingcorp.com. You can leave a message. We have some more information about us. We also have our numbers. It's also posted. So, reach out. Feel free to send us an email or post something on our website.
All right. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you all for being our guests. We appreciate you all. We wish you all much success in the future, and you're always welcome to be back on the show. So we thank W&T Construction Company? Contracting Company. See, got to listen. Got to remember. Wiley Richards and Terrell Richards, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for being here for National Black Business Month. Couldn't think of any other great people. That's great to have you all on here representing the African American community. I'm inspired. That's why I was taking so many notes. But thank you all for being here. Thank you all for tuning in to Hub City Now. Hope you all have a wonderful and blessed day and a blessed week. Take care of one another, watch out for one another, and look out for one another. Hope you all have a wonderful and blessed week. God bless.